So really good news, because we never open with good news.
Well, it's a half an hour in, to be
fair.
fair.
Open the news part with good news. Larry Summers has withdrawn his name from the Fed chair job.
Ah, you sexist douchebag son of a bitch.
There's so much wrong with this guy. He is sexist. He's very cozy with Wall Street. He was basically like the nightmare nominee that obviously Obama wanted. Because he's so close to Wall Street, and therefore he has experience with ruining the economy.
Yeah, guys, just because you have experience fucking up doesn't mean that you're good at your job.
That's how it works in America, though. The more you fail, the higher you rise.
Well, it's like all the war pundits, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, they were...
Bill Kristol. How many times has Bill Kristol been wrong, you guys?
Yeah, but that's a big number, and numbers impress people, so let's bring him on.
And also, he's a white guy. Did we mention he's a white guy?
Hey, how many wars have you been wrong about? Perfect. Let's talk about Iran.
So obviously this is really good news. When I talked with Occupy the SEC, this was one of their like big worries coming up, where they're like, Larry Summers getting the nomination, so we're going to do a lot of organizing around that if it happens. And he's withdrawn his name. But I have to read this quote because I want to make "you think, Larry" a thing because of this quote. I have reluctantly concluded that any possible confirmation process for me would be acrimonious and would not serve the interest of the Federal Reserve. Really? You think it would be acrimonious?
Because, like, you crashed the economy?
You think?
You and all your friends?
You think, Larry?
Remember when we had the economy and the economy was okay, and then you and your friends were like, let me play with the economy, and then you broke the economy? You think maybe the guy who broke the economy wouldn't be good at taking care of the economy?
You think, Larry? See how perfect it is? Anytime someone says something incredibly obvious, like, wow, you could have said that to Brandon when he was like, Breaking Bad, something bad happened to
you think, Larry?
You think, Larry?
Now, you're probably going to be like, but what if they don't know who Larry is?
Doesn't matter. Because Larry's a hilarious name.
It's a really funny name. Like, Larry Bird, arguably one of the best basketball players of his generation. Will you ever... just think about him right now. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
He's ridiculous. He probably wasn't even that good.
No.
But, like, you're like, well, for a Larry, I guess he's good at something.
For a tall white guy named Larry.
For a tall white guy named Larry. Yeah, exactly. You think Larry? Now I just picture this if you want an extra level of hilarious.
Okay.
You think Larry, and then picture Larry Bird jumping, shooting a free throw, and it completely missing the basket. Is that not the saddest thing in the world?
It's the funniest thing in the world.
It's pretty funny. So that's really good. And I mean... this shows. Oh, and when we say sexist, by the way, when he was the president of Harvard, didn't he like essentially say like women aren't good at math or like something like of that cliche caliber?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an asshole. And Obama was going to. This is like when we try to explain to the Obama people, it's like people who are truly progressive, people who were mad about war under George Bush, people who are mad about like fucking over poor people under George Bush and just blindly support Obama. We're not, I mean, a lot of times we're making fun of them, but at the heart of what we were trying to say, we're not making fun of them. We're saying if you like Obama, you should be the one who is the most upset and the most aggressive to get him to go and do what you claim he wants to do. Because, like, it happened this time. Like, if nobody... Here's the way elections work, guys. If no one on your team is pressuring your guy to be more left-wing, then their team goes, okay, well, we don't need them to win an election. We're the Democrats, and we just started World War III while outlawing abortion, and they're still on Twitter getting mad at Glenn Greenwald. They're still going to vote for you, right? So then who do we have to get? We have to get the right-wing moderates. We have to get libertarians. And so then, because all they care about are elections, so then all of their policies shift because they know we're just going to be their fucking lapdogs. So then they start pandering to the right.
Yeah, and what the media is trying to frame this as right now isn't necessarily that this was Larry Summers and Obama responding to the progressive base. What they're saying is, we just didn't have the votes in Congress. But then the follow-up question should be, why don't you have the votes in Congress? Right. Because the progressive and Democratic officials are feeling the pressure from their constituents.
Right.
And is always about grassroots activism. It is not about these officials suddenly finding in their hearts that they want to reject Wall Street and Wall Street's billions and billions of dollars in contributions. It's that they feel like if they support the nomination of someone who's so close to the people who tanked the economy, it's going to look terrible and their constituents are going to get pissed off.
And it's awesome that it worked this time, you know? Like, we have temporarily prevented something in Syria. We have stopped Larry Summers.
And look, the establishment media officials are always going to want to take that away from activists. They're always going to say, oh, no, we just didn't do it because logistically it didn't make sense. Oh, no, we just didn't do it because we didn't have the votes in Congress. Bullshit.
Yep.
They were afraid and they felt it, and they'll never give it to activists because they know if they say, well, shit, it was the people, then the people are going to feel really powerful.
Right.
And they really don't want that. They really don't want to be handed a mandate from the people. They have their plan and they want to implement the plan, and they don't want that to change. So this is absolutely the result of direct action and organizing and activists.
Yeah. I just hope that Larry Summers, and I made fun of him on Twitter, and I realized that it's like, where's he gonna go now? Oh, his pile of gold. But there is part of me that it's like guys like that are so greedy. Like, his speaking fee is so ridiculous that I just hope for his next job interview, since he's not going to be there, because obviously he did want this position. For his next job interview, it's like a woman interviewing him, and she just slowly pulls out a list of his quotes about women and just makes him, did you say this? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I'm smart enough to not hire you.